Shalom, my sassy Sagittarians. June's astrology energy is going to bring about a lot of topsy-turvy, a lot of up and down. Stay tuned to get all the deets. Shalom all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to my aligned Astro Chat. It's connected to my Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life YouTube show, and I'm so excited to be connecting with you guys today to do a transformational tarot for June. And here's how we're going to roll. I'm going to pull an overarching theme card from the Sacred Creators Oracle, Chris Ann. And then the card deck that stood out to me today for you here is the Unveiled Tarot. And again, my sassy Sagittarians, you're all about the truth, right? Brutally honest. And I feel like the Unveiled Tarot is going to speak to you. So without further ado, let's check that out and see what's coming up. So the astrology here for you guys in June, I feel is going to be what I'm kind of hearing actually is it's like more of the same for you. You've had a couple of months where things have been really kooky and crazy. And at first it was really stressful and you really were finding it difficult to find your footing. Now you're kind of like, okay, well, this is just more of the same. So I just need to, sort of stay the course. And I feel like a lot of that energy, when other people are freaking out and they don't know what's actually happening, I feel like you can bring a level of stability, a level of calm perspective in all of this because you've already gone through all of that stuff. And you're like, okay, well, just need to do more of the same. Let's not get worked up about it. Oh my God, soul on fire. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so in the month of June, because you are approaching that energy from that perspective of, hey, this is just more of the same that it's been for me the last couple of months. So I might not like it, but I know how to handle it. I know how to deal with it. It gives you an opportunity to put more focus on your soul path and purpose. Now, when I say purpose, that word gets floated around a lot. It gets thrown around a lot. I'm not talking about like, oh my God, you've got to figure out your purpose. This is more about you're tweaking your purpose. You're tweaking the direction that you're wanting to go. You've already known the direction. You've been kind of planning things for a while. Now you're lighting that shit on fire. And you're saying, it is time. Let's get this show on the road. Let's go. So while the rest of the world, I feel, is going to be a bit anxious about the speed of things, the pace of things, you're going to be like, all right, well, I can make this work for me. You're the master. You're a master of fire. So being a master of fire means you understand how fire works and you can make it work for you. You understand when too much is too much and you're going to burn yourself out. You also understand when there's not enough and you need to add more fuel to the fire. So I feel that you're driven, right? You're driven and you're driven towards that soul purpose that I feel is, quite frankly, and this is going to sound really big and bizarre, but this was your whole reason for being. Like, this is why you came onto the planet at this time. And for each of you on an individual level, there's going to be an aha realization of that. So let's see how that is going to play out here. We've got our current, your current space, your present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Yeah. 10 of Wands, rewards and the burdens that go with it. You're really in a space and a place where you're like, okay, let's get this show on the road. Let's just get this shit done. And I don't care what I have to release. I don't care what I have to give up in order to be able to make this happen. This isn't about laziness. This isn't about not wanting to go and do and be. This is about recognizing I need to separate the wheat from the chaff. I need to focus solely on what is priority, what is absolutely necessary, and let the rest go. I love this particular depiction because we've got all of these ants that are, bringing food back to the colony. And, this is one of the ants. And it's burdensome. And what I keep seeing for you is you decide, I don't want to be a part of that colony. I'm going to drop this food. Another ant can pick it up and I'm going to kind of go my own way. I'm done with this, rank and file. I'm done with this knowing all the time this is going to be the next thing to happen, and then this, and then this, and then this. Life is too predictable for you right now, and I feel like that 10 of Wands is coming up to basically say, hey, prioritize. You don't have to hold all of the, juggle all the balls in the air. Let some of those go, because your soul is on fire. You've got a direction. You've got a purpose now, and it's clear where you're going. So don't let all of the other, fluff get in the way. Certainly not other people's fluff. Let other people deal with their fluff. The catalyst for you, what's fueling or hindering your transformation at this time? Is this resistance or is it rocket fuel? Ooh, I'm hearing some resistance for you guys. So my sassy Sagittarians, the resistance feels like it comes in the dollars and cents of life, or the rules of life. And I can relate to this. I get so frustrated. Like I'm kind of like a rebel a lot of times. Like, if your rules make sense and they keep everybody safe, okay, I'm all right with that. But if your rules are stupid, if it's dumb, if it doesn't make sense, and it's only serving like one person's purpose rather than, the collective at large, I'm going to have something to say about it. And I get irritated by it. I'm going to say, I don't like doing my laundry, and yet I like wearing clean clothes. So sometimes there are just things in life that you got to do. And I feel like that's what's coming up and coming through here. Interesting. So you have the Knight of Pentacles. When we're talking about that catalyst energy and the resistance, yes, you're resisting those daily tasks that, like, okay, I want to go to the carnival and I want to ride this fantastic ride, and I want to get a little elephant ear. And I know that that's going to cost me $25 plus parking, but I don't want to work today. Okay, well, guess what? In order to make money to pay for that $25 plus parking, I got to work. The work part isn't fun, but it serves its purpose. So I feel like that's what is your resistance? Is you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, I want to do all these things, but man, it's effort to have to let go of these burdens, or man, it's effort to have to forge a different path. And I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know if I have it in me. I'm going to say I call bullshit. Yes, you do have it in you, and you want to stand in that space, because the temporary space that you're in right now of, okay, it is what it is, and maybe I'll just deal with the fact that the merry-go-round is not actually functional and it's overgrown, and I'll just hang out and act like that's the cool thing. I'll hang out and act like that's the way I want it to be. No, you really want it to be functional and to work. So Knight of Pentacles is slow. He takes his time. He gets there. He gets there eventually, but he's not someone that you can rely on to be punctual. I want to say this is the shit that needs to go. Woo! For you guys being sassy, I feel like your guides are sassy too on the delivery of the message with that. Okay, deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation in June under the surface? Interesting. So it's how you're being seen. It's how you're being thought of. I feel that there's a lot of energy around approval here. And I'm kind of surprised, because a lot of times with you Sagittarians, you don't really care what other people think. You just go ahead and do what you need to do because you have that innate confidence within you. But I'm seeing in June that that's actually not true, or that you go half the way there or part the way there, but you keep hidden what's actually really going on. And PS and FYI, welcome to humanity. We all wear masks out in the world. There are always things that we don't want to share with everyone else, nor do I feel you necessarily need to share with everyone else. But I feel like this is about you and for you. And if you keep this hidden from yourself, like you're keeping it hidden from other people, but there's also this part of you that is keeping it hidden for yourself, putting it in the drawer for later, in the closet of misplaced things and misfit toys, right? Eventually that closet's going to get so full that you're going to open the door one day and all the shit's going to fall on top of you. And then you really have a mess on your hands because you're going to have to fix it right now. So I feel like the deep root here, the soul contract with yourself, or I want to say the belief that you have here, is that you're not going to be able to survive the process of dealing with the ups and downs of what holds you back. You act confident. You are in many ways confident, but in all the ways that you're confident, there are also these ways that you're not, and you're hoping that nobody's going to see it. I got to say to you, June is the month where that's going to be revealed, and you are going to have the opportunity to face it. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to love it. And on the other side of it, if you choose to deal with it, you're going to be really glad you did. You know, most of us, when we get on the roller coaster, we kind of know what to expect. So if you're still getting on the roller coaster, you know that you're going to be scared shitless, but then you're also on the other side of it going to be super pumped. The adrenaline is going, and you're ready to get in line to go at it again. And I feel like that's what you need to remember here, is that there's that limiting belief that, oh my God, this is an isolated situation and it's going to work out for everyone else, but not for me. It's going to be different for me somehow. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're going to deal with it like you deal with everything else, and everything's going to be okay. What is dying away from you right now? What part of you is falling away, and what role, pattern, or identity has run its course? This is so important. We need to pay attention to these things. Interesting. So we had the Knight of Pentacles. Now we have the King of Pentacles. I want to say to you guys, this is really about timing, speed. You've had your time to sit back, to wait, to reflect, to hem and haw. And what you're kind of moving out of now is that hem and haw. King of Pentacles is very much about the manifested idea, right? I had an idea. I did all the work to bring it to life. I've been living it. I've been enjoying it. And now I'm over it. I'm done with it. I'm bored. I'm ready for something new. And in this particular depiction, we're seeing, you know, King of Pentacles, the head of the boardroom, is secretly in his mind wishing that he was at the craps table winning a bunch of money. But instead, he's stuck here at work having to manage his empire. And I want to say, it's kind of like, is all the gathering of what it is that you wanted, is it all worth it? You know, money is, I mean, it's not talking about the basics that we need, you know, to live and survive. I'm talking about like extra money. You can continually work towards building your coffers and more money and more and more money and more money. But why are you doing it? Originally, you're doing it because you want to be able to go and do things and have things and not have to think about it. And there's freedom in that. Well, eventually, when you amass so much money, suddenly it becomes a problem. It's like the reverse situation where now you don't have time to go and do the things that money that you've worked so hard to earn to go and do. You don't have time to do it. And now you're spending all your time managing that money rather than living it and being in it. I feel like this is what you're releasing, is this idea that I gotta shift things up. What I originally set out to do and the reason why I did it, I need to evaluate whether that's still true, or whether the action steps that I'm taking or the results that I have are still in aligned with that direction. So you're releasing a lot of what you've already manifested because you need to make room for the new manifestations. That's why you're bored. It's about releasing in a big way for you. Highest potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? And this is the big breakthrough potential energy. Oh, I love it. Ace of Swords, new thought. Makes sense. You're releasing, you're letting go of burdens. Your soul is on fire. You've got a new direction. Get rid of what is holding you back. Get rid of what is in your way. So that new thought comes prominently into your space and your place. And this is an interesting depiction because you've got a cloudy sky. It's a sunny day. I would say it's a partly sunny day, right? Or partly cloudy, however you want to however you want to put that, positive or negative, glass half full or glass half empty. And I feel like when we're talking about this highest potential, Ace is a card of potential. And it's the potential of the new thought. Potential is a nothing burger unless you apply it. But this is where you can reach. This is what you can reach, is new potential. And there's no better way, there's no better outcome, there's no better potential to have there than more potential. Because what that means for you is that you don't have a ceiling. The sky is the limit. Maybe the stars are the limit. Maybe the galaxy is the limit. It's an invitation for you to shed what has been, to release the bonds of everything that you've created in order to be able to start fresh and start new and bring some more soul to your life. Bring some more soul to your path and be more involved and engaged in your life. I feel like some of you have kind of checked out. Some of you are a little dissociated, and no judgment. That happens to all of us. This is the invitation to get back into the body, get back into your life, be engaged, be intentional about the choices that you're making, and get excited about the adventure, because it's the newness that really is what your soul is craving at this time. That's really important. All right, next step. What is just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Oh my goodness, these cards are super slippery. The Hermit. Oh, interesting. Okay, so as I look at this card, I'm actually feeling like the next phase for you is a release of the Hermit. I feel like you've been in that Hermit mode and that Hermit energy. But I am going to say to you, you have been in the Hermit mode and the Hermit energy, but it's been a little more self-serving. It's been a little bit more about the woe is me, poor pitiful me. I'm bored to tears and I don't know what's coming next. So I'm just going to kind of chill. I'm going to, figure things out. Wait until something figures itself out, and then I'm going to move forward. Hermit journey is the deeply personal self-awareness journey. Some of you have not necessarily been feeling the sorry for yourself, but you've definitely been going into that Hermit mode, that self-awareness journey, and really feeling like, okay, I don't really know what else right now I can learn about myself because I don't have anything new to reflect back to me or to challenge me or to create that growth. So you've been a little bit stagnant in that Hermit energy. What I'm seeing here when I look at this card is the Hermit is coming back to life. The Hermit is re-entering society, re-entering a space with, New York with a ton of people. Hermit is saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to get into this space. So I feel like this is just kind of confirmation of all the other things that we've been getting in the reading. Also, the Hermit is a 9. So endings, resolutions, conclusions to things, coming to the end of a cycle. And this also feels like next step, you're wrapping some things up. And you're wrapping some things up in a very emotionally mature way. You're also going to be giving some forgiveness out to some people. You're going to be making some amends to some people in the process of closing this particular door, because you know that you're getting ready for the new beginning, the fresh start, and the exciting potential and possibility of what that's going to bring into your life. So the Hermit is kind of exciting because it's closing a door. And I feel like that's a door that you've been ready to close for quite some time. Your role. What part do you play in your own life? How are you navigating this transformation in June? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Oh my God, the Chariot card has come through for most of the signs, and often in this particular position. And PS and FYI, I choose a different deck for each sign. So it's not even like I'm using the same deck energy. I find that fascinating. Okay, so your role in this, you're the Chariot. You are taking charge. And I feel like it's important for you to take charge. We're going to say you're boldly rising here. Yes, there's a sense of flow, but I want to say with the soul on fire, no, you're burning. You're burning. And I think it's so fitting that the Chariot here is a race car. We can think about NASCAR basically. And I feel like that's you. You are playing the role of, all right, I'm done with all this waiting. I'm done with all this other stuff. now that I see it, I am truly fully motivated and I don't want to wait anymore. Let's just get this show on the road. I feel like you jump from uninspired to fully inspired and dog with a bone, moving forward, not looking back, driving the bus, maybe even a little bit of bulldozing, but it makes sense. I want to say to you though, don't burn yourself out. When we talk about those race cars, they burn a lot of fuel because they're driving so fast, which is why, they only get a few times around the track and then they got to refuel. They got to top up. They got to get their maintenance and stuff going. So you want to keep that in mind while you are moving full speed ahead. And remember, you've had some downtime and it might take you a minute to reintegrate, to re-enter the world. So cut yourself a little bit of slack. You're still going to get there. You're going to get there quickly. It's just, you don't have to get there so quickly that you burn all your fuel. You want to get there with fuel in reserve because you're going to need that fuel for the next step. And that feels really significant. Circle of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And are they influencing it in a positive way or a negative way? Interesting. Page of Swords. So this goes along with the Ace of Swords because in many ways, the ace is the first. It's the pure potential, the 0, and the page is like the 1. The page says, "Ooh, I love this potential. Let me come up with a plan. Let me see what the plan is in order to be able to explore this." And look at how she's wanting to use the sword, right? The sword is in the hand, holding that sword up. And now it's like, okay, let me test it out. I've been given the sword. Now let me test it out. And I feel like when we're talking about the support system, you are your support system here. That's a theme that's been coming through in a lot of the readings too. You are your support system here, but I also feel like it's about learning a new tool, accessing a new tool, not being afraid to use an old tool in a new way. And I feel that there's intentionality around this. Page of Swords is smart. They're student energy. They're new, but they're bright. They're intelligent. They're curious. And that's what I feel is coming up and coming through for you here is it is time for you to be curious. What is going to support you in this journey, this shift from slow and stop and hermit to chariot and fire and the sun is curiosity. And no, curiosity did not kill the cat in this situation. I feel like curiosity is what saves you because you heard noises. You were curious. You grabbed your sword just in case because you want to make sure you're ready to wield it, but you're not like leading with the sword. And you're listening. You're observing. You're tapping into your spidey senses around what is next. You got a lot of thoughts about it, but there's also a plan. It might be a half-baked plan. It might be a plan that is not fully formed yet. That's okay. You will figure it out as you go. The point is there's thought behind it. And I feel like that's the support that you're going to get. Curiosity is going to support you. Lean into curiosity for that guidance and that foundation as you're making this shift. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you do have an idea. You do have a concept of what's next. Like I said, your soul's on fire because you've been inspired, you see the vision, and you're ready to go for it. But the fear is that you go for it and it falls apart. And that's what we're witnessing here in this card. You're seeing the ideal, concept. And, happy family isn't necessarily everybody's ideal outcome, right? But just for the sake of the card, this person's outcome is happy family. But what reality is he's doing drugs on the street. She's doing drugs on the street. Either these are their children that are around them, one who's drugged up here and the other one who's, sex working. And PS and FYI, I'm not making a judgment on sex work at all. Just saying that this is what is transpiring in this card, is that this wasn't necessarily the ideal. And where did it go off track? That's your fear, is you want to know where it went off track so that you don't make the same mistake again, or so that you don't wind up in your fear space. And I want to say, cut the fear loose. Remember your power. This is your second 10. 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups. 10 is new beginnings based on an already established foundation. And I feel like the 10 of Cups also is a reminder of your power, especially the Sun card for you too. It's your power. You have the ability to co-create. You get to tell the universe what experiences you choose to have. If you're focusing on the fear, then the universe is going to give you the fear to focus on. It's going to give you that experience because the universe doesn't judge. It says, okay, this is what they're focusing on, so that must be what they want to experience. So your wish is my command. Boom. So it's easy in this regard. Hopes and fears. In order for the fear to not take you over, cut the fear out. Stick with the vision and the hope. Don't let the ego come into the mix at all. Pursue your path. Pursue it with passion. Pursue it with your soul on fire, and trust and know that the soul is open to the experience, and you're going to have the experience that you truly desire. So make sure you are clear with what that is. What is it that you truly desire? That's going to solve that issue. And finally, we have the outcome of this transformation in June. If you stay on course, who will you be on the other side of this journey? And what is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Beautiful. 5 of Wands. So again, your fire energy is coming through in all of this. And I feel like the 5 of Wands is scattered energy, but it's also focus. And I feel like that is the outcome of this, is you now have a focus. And let's look at this. We've got a crowd of angry people, an angry mob, and they all have something to say and do. And maybe they've even gotten a bit distracted around who they really were angry with. It's just become a free-for-all. But what's really going on inside is there's playfulness here. There's fun. There's play acting. You're learning how to shift your focus from a scattered energy space. You're learning the art of the conflict. You're learning in a way that can be fun and fancy-free. You don't have to take life so seriously. And I feel like that's what the 5 of Wands is coming up and coming through with. All of this other stuff is a potential and a possibility. Again, just like the 10 of Cups, if you're putting your focus to that, that's what the universe is going to bring you. But if you're putting your focus to this, then you're in the adventure. You're experiencing you're enjoying the experience, or you're having the experience in its entirety without judgment, which is what the soul wants. The soul wants to experience all of it. It doesn't judge whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, but you get to determine whether you have a good experience or a bad experience. And that doesn't mean that everything has to show up in a sunshine and daisies, wine and roses way. It means, how do you choose to take what is being given to you and make the lemonade out of the lemons? And that's what you're learning here, is I don't have to take life so seriously. There's a lesson in all of this, and I can shift my energy in order to be able to manifest the thing that I really want. And that's where I put my focus. OMG. Okay, so my sassy Sagittarians, that is your reading for June of 2025. Oh, it is going to be delicious. I'm just so excited that you've got some creative flow going on. I know what that feels like when we can get blocked and not really know what the next step or the next phase or stage is. So sending you lots of love with that. And please feel free to keep me posted in the comments on how your month is going. I hope you have the most incredible month of June, and we will see you on the flip side.